BrainWave.
The fear of water is called aquaphobia or hydrophobia. Children are more likely to fear water, but some adults also experience panic due to a specific type of open water, and sometimes even bathtubs or showers. It's a serious issue that needs to be addressed. Every year, over 400,000 people worldwide drown, with children under 5 years old being the most common victims. This grim statistic terrifies many people, and the fear of dying in this way is real. Although we can't fully understand what someone feels when they're drowning, the physiological processes are well known. Initially, the fear of submersion reflexively prompts taking a deep breath to maximize oxygen intake. This provides the body with oxygen for a brief period. As the nose and mouth go underwater, whether a person knows how to swim or not, they automatically hold their breath. Elevated carbon dioxide levels in the blood irritate the respiratory center in the brain. If the carbon dioxide concentration exceeds a certain threshold, an unconditional reflex forces an inhalation, regardless of the person's desire. The lungs try to fill with air as much as possible. Water often enters the bronchi along with air, leading to spasmodic contractions of the diaphragm. This mixture of water, bronchial secretions, and air creates a frothy white foam that rises through the respiratory passages up to the throat. Meanwhile, the brain continues to experience decreasing oxygen levels, triggering mass spasms. All muscles start trembling uncontrollably. At this stage, a person loses consciousness, the airways relax, and the lungs fill with water. Beyond that point, it's darkness. People who have genuinely faced drowning but managed to survive describe the experience. When drowning, strength wanes, panic sets in, and it feels like gulping down water in large sips. Vision darkens, thoughts cease, and the sensation of being pulled downward intensifies. Then comes the feeling of suffocation. Despite the urge to inhale through the nose and mouth, more water floods in. Looking upward, one sees the water and a blurry sun and sky. Desperate attempts to strike the water with hands prove futile. It feels as if the water has turned solid, like preserved glass. Breathing becomes increasingly difficult. Eventually, consciousness fades. Whether a person can be saved depends on how long they've been without air. For instance, a study from 2013 found that the chances of survival were very low if submerged for more than 10 minutes. Such prolonged submersion primarily leads to brain death and cardiac arrest. But there's more. If someone is in very cold water, they face the risk of hypothermia, where body temperature drops below 35 degrees Celsius. Cold water exacerbates the situation. During hypothermia, the body shivers intensely, movements slow down, breathing and heart rate decrease, and metabolic processes stall. Ultimately, unconsciousness and death can occur. Surprisingly, hypothermia reduces the effects of hypoxia. The diving reflex kicks in. When blood vessels constrict, heart rate slows, and blood is redirected to vital areas, especially the brain. By slowing metabolism, hypothermia reduces the body's oxygen demand, potentially prolonging survival and minimizing tissue damage from hypoxia. Thanks to this, very often hypothermia and the diving reflex are associated with the fact that small children can survive if they have been underwater for much longer than 10 minutes. So, drowning is indeed terrifying. In reality, it's not worth testing all these effects on yourself. And no matter what happens, always wear life jackets, especially for children when safety instructions require it. Have you ever experienced drowning? Share your story in the comments. Press like if you find this video helpful, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel.